Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's webinar. Happy New Year, Wendy. Hello, Jesse. I'm very excited about today's. It's one of my favorites. We normally do it at the beginning of the year. I am going to give a little quick warning, though, that we have been experiencing some technical difficulties with my webinar program. So in the event of me maybe disappearing or not being able to be heard, I do have the recording of the last time we did this, and I will play that and stay in the chat to still be able to talk to everybody. So fear not, we're going to make it through no matter what. I will give everybody still a few more minutes to get settled in. Hello, David. Hi, Sarah. Happy New Year. And then we will get started because this is kind of a long one. I am Darby. I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, and today in the chat we will have Andrew. He is tuning in from Atlanta. So hello, everyone. And again, if you stop being able to hear me or if I disappear, let me know in the chat because I will be looking at my other screen and talking, so it might be a little hard for me to realize. But again, we'll get you that recording. We're going to make it through. Hello, Eloise. Hello, Dean. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm very excited that everyone is saying hi in the chat. All right, all the way from England. That's cool. All right. I do want to go ahead and get going. So let's go ahead and get started. So today's webinar is called Beyond the Galleries. We talk about a lot of our features more related to studio management and less related to just the galleries themselves. So our usual housekeeping spiel. Please pause any extra browser tabs, pause any streaming services, anything that might eat into your bandwidth while we're doing this. Feel free to chat with each other and with us in the chat tab. But if you have specific questions, if you could ask those in the Q&A tab, that would be nice because then Andrew and I can keep an eye on those. Andrew can also respond directly to you, and then I can see those if I want to answer them on screen. If you do ask something in the chat and you see it disappear, don't worry. That is just us moving it over to the Q&A tab so that we can keep tabs on it. Hello, Pam and Paulina. Ooh, I love Montreal. It's a very pretty city. All right. Andrew went ahead and shared all of our previously recorded webinars for you guys to see, so you can always see them there. Hello, David. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. So today's agenda is going to be a little different than our usual webinars. So normally we have feature webinars where we're really going to go in depth on one specific feature. This one, we're going to do kind of a high-level overview of all of these different features that you see here. We do have individual webinars on all of these where we're going to specifically go over setting them up, but this one is just going to be kind of me talking about them, letting you know what they can do, showing you a little bit about them. We're going to try and keep this under 45 minutes because it is a lot. So bear with me if I am moving fast. But again, remember, we do have individual presentations on them, and we have lots of information about this in the Help Center, and you can be asking questions as we go along. Also, in the handouts tab, I do have a handout about this webinar, and it does link to all of the previous webinars on all of these features. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay. Our first one that we're going to talk about is mobile apps. So mobile apps are digital photo albums that can hold up to 250 photos. When we say digital photo albums, we more mean that these are kind of like viewing galleries. So clients cannot download from these. They cannot favorite. They cannot purchase. There's not going to be a price sheet attached to it. It's really just a quick and easy way for them to be able to view some photos right off of the home screen of their phone. You can link back to a gallery from a mobile app, but again, that's then going to just open a gallery in a browser window. That's not going to be the mobile app itself. Clients can, however, share mobile apps with each other. So if you send, maybe graduation pictures to someone, then, they can share all that mobile app with their friends and family and all of that. They'll send them a link and they can download that mobile app onto their phone as well. So there's several different ways that we hear people using mobile apps. Some people use them to give a little sneak peek of their photo shoot. So maybe you have a few of the photos edited, but you want to go ahead and let them see them, but you're not ready to give them the full gallery. So you could put those in a mobile app and share them with them, let them know that more are coming. We also hear about people using them as kind of a digital business card. So maybe you upload some of your favorites from all of your different shoots, and then you can share that with prospective clients when they are interested in booking you, so that you have like a little overview of all of your favorite shots. Within your mobile app, you can have studio information, you can have your contact information. You can also add links in your mobile app. So if you have a blog that you want to link to, or you want to link to your website, or maybe an article written about you, you can have those in your mobile app as well. And forgive me, my computer or my desk is a little too high for me right there. There we go. That's much easier. All right. So it's very hard for me to actually show you a mobile app physically on my phone because it's kind of hard to get my screen up. So I have a little video here of what a mobile app is going to look like on someone's phone. So here would be the main page of the mobile app. You can click on the images and scroll through them. Down there at the bottom, you have the info section. So this is where you can add your contact info. We also have these links. So in this example, we link to the ShootProof blog, and it's going to take them to the blog within that mobile app. They can look around, and then once they exit, they're back into their mobile app. They can share their mobile app on social, but you can also text the mobile app directly to someone who can then download it onto their phone. Then down here at the bottom of the mobile app, you'll see that we have the View Full Gallery button, and then that is going to take them to their full gallery where, depending on your settings, people can download, favorite, purchase, all of that you have set up in there. So I'm going to take a little pause. All right, looks like everybody's doing well so far. Nick, I'm glad you appreciate this one. I actually really like it. It's just a lot of information in a short amount of time, though. So next we have contracts. So with our contracts feature, you can send digital contracts directly from your account. Both your clients and you can sign those online, and then you have a record of all those contracts in your account, as well as that your client has the link to that contract. You can see the statuses, whether they've signed yet, all of that in the contract section. We really stress the importance of contracts with honestly every shoot. Even if you're doing volunteer work or, something for free, having a contract is just a great way to make sure that everybody is on the same page with the shoot. It helps you with, avoid any legal issues or just general misunderstandings on both sides. So we recommend contracts all the time. We have a lot of time-saving features with our contracts. So if you have a contract, you make one and you're like, wow, this one is great, I want to use it for every portrait shoot, you can then make a template of that contract. So you can start from that template. You still have the opportunity, though, to make changes once you've made it from the template or edit that template itself later. In addition to that, we have what we call fillable fields, which is a way for you to get information from your client within the contract. So what that's going to be is a blank that prompts them to give some sort of information. They cannot sign the contract until they fill that out. So maybe you need, more information about the wedding venue or even just their contact information. You could add that as a fillable field. They have to input that information, and then they can sign the contract afterwards. We also have variables, which are going to pull information into your contracts that is already from your account. So you can use it to pull in your contact information, or if you made a contact card for the client with all of their information, you can use variables to fold that information into the contract for you. And then last, we have blanks, which are placeholders for information that you would need to add to the contract. So say you do a different retainer for all of your different different shoots depending. You could add a blank there, and then you would be prompted to enter that information before you send that contract to the client. All right. Let's go. We're going to go into our account and take a little look at our contract section. So to get to contracts, we're going to go down here to Studio. We're going to be spending a lot of time in the Studio tab today, and we're going to go down to contracts. So you can see here that we have all of our different contracts that we've created recently and their different statuses. So awaiting signature means that your client has signed, or your client hasn't signed yet. So we'll see their signature here when it shows up. There's also countersign, which means that you need to sign. We'll show you any that have expired, any draft, complete ones, and then you have the option here to look by all of those different statuses. We have our templates over here. So these are actually templates from our marketplace. So this button over here brings you to our marketplace where we do sell different types of contract templates. These have been created for us by two studios that we work with, the Law Tog and the Youngrens. So these have already been vetted. If you purchase these, you still can make any edits that you want, but they're a good starting out point. So to make a new contract, we just come up here. You can make a brand new one. You can do it from a template or from a purchase template. We're just really quick going to make one with our portrait session contract. So we'll click create contract. Right away, we'll see this big red bar. This is warning us of those blanks that I talked about earlier. So we're going to prompt you that, hey, before you send it to the client, you need to go ahead and fill in those blanks. These here are these variables that I talked about. When you see a blue variable, that means that that is information that the variable is going to be able to pull. It's good. It has that information. When you see this, that means that that information isn't available yet. So in this case, the contract shoot date, we just haven't set it here. So if I set it there, you'll see that it turns blue. Any of these red variables, they will not show on your contract when you send it to the client. So if you don't have this information, it's not going to pull anything there. So we want to make sure we check all of those. These are our fillable fields. So this is where we'd be prompting the client to enter that venue name and address before they'll be able to sign. And then here are our little friends, the blanks that I mentioned earlier. So in this example, maybe you're setting a different retainer every time. So I'm going to put 175 here. You're setting maybe a different cancellation window. So let's do 3 days. And you're setting maybe the amount of files that you are agreeing to give to them. So let's do 30. So we need to add a contact to this contract for it to be able to be used. We're going to go with my tried and true Julie Andrews. We're going to link the contract, and now we can save it. When we save it, it's going to immediately be in the draft phase. It will not leave the draft phase until you email it to your client. So I do want to just show you, though, what the contracts look like for the client. We'll email it to them first, though, so that we can get the full experience. So when you click email, we have like kind of a default email template that we'll send. You can make edits to these templates and make new ones if you'd like in your email section. You also can just edit that right down here in the text box down there. So we'll send it. Now it's awaiting signature, meaning that the client needs to sign it, but I do want to preview it so that you can see what it looks like on the client end. So when we preview, we need to enter the client's email address so that they can see it, and then you can see what your client will see when they receive their contract. So your branding up here, these are these fillable fields I was talking about. You'll see, just like in real life, when you get a contract and it's got a little sticky tab telling you where to sign, we kind of have the same thing here. They have to fill out this information. And then once they've done that, they'll be able to sign in this box here. All right, let's go take a little quick break and see how everybody is doing. All right, Heidi, that is a good idea. I see Andrew asked or responded to you. We can pass that along. I'd rather to go right to the contract, pop in the client's info there. Awesome. All right, closely related to our contracts are our invoices, because you can link your invoices and contracts together so that you can send them to your client as like a bundle at one link. So invoices make it easy for your clients to pay for their sessions. If you have a payment gateway set up, so if you're in the US and you have ShootProof Pay, those of you outside of the US do have a few different payment gateway options. Clients can also pay their invoice right there on the page. So with invoices, we do give you the option of adding installments. So you can, make those really big payments or big invoice fees rather more palatable through multiple installments. With that, you have the option to add retainers, non-refundable retainers. There's different verbiage you can do for that to start it off with. You can also add discounts. So maybe you're running a sale where if they sign up in the next few weeks, they get X number off of their session. You can add that as a discount to your invoice. We let you create line items that you can use over and over again, as well as templates. So maybe you have, kind of line items are like little building blocks to use within your templates and your invoices. So I'll show you those in a second. And then we do also have the option to do auto pay so that it will automatically charge your client on the day of their installment date. And they won't have to remember to go in and make that payment, which makes it easier for them, makes you get paid on time. So back into our account, our invoices are down here, right under our contracts. So kind of a similar setup to how you see it, your contracts. We have these different statuses. And then if you want to search through your existing invoices by their current status, you can do that as well. So we have unpaid and partially paid, overdue, overpaid. That would be nice, wouldn't it? And paid in full. You can search your invoices. Up here, we have where you can make discounts, line items, and templates as well. So similar. We have this portrait template where we went ahead and set up all of your what you want your portrait invoices to look like, and then you can use those over and over again. So we will quickly make an invoice again from a template. So we'll keep it on our portraits. So you'll see here, we do need to go ahead and add a contact. You have your issue date. You can change your final due date here. Since we started with a template, we did start with some line items already in here. If you want to edit them, you can click into them. If we want to add another line item from our existing line items, you can select those here, or you can go ahead and just type out a new one. We're going to add an existing line item for a second shooter. But again, you can still make any changes to this existing line item as you're adding it. So we'll click save. It'll add there. You can add notes to clients that's going to show on the invoice to them as they're, paying for it. If you have taxable items, you'll want to remember to set your sales tax down here. And then with our payment schedule is where you can add installments. So right now on this one, with this invoice template, we have 2 installments, but I can change it to 3. You can change, this is the verbiage for if you want a prepayment. So maybe you have a non-refundable payment, or you call it a deposit or a retainer, any of that, you can select there and you can set the amount and the due date. Your final installment due date is always going to be due on the date that you set the invoice to be due in general. You can allow clients to make online payments. They also always have the opportunity you can log cash or check payments if they pay you outside of ShootProof. And then this is very exciting. In the past few weeks, we did add the opportunity for clients to tip you on your invoices. So if we toggle on tipping, you have some options. You can allow them to tip only on the final payment or on all payments. So if you do it on all payments, anytime they make a payment, they will see the tipping options. These are just some options that then you can give them. So the first option they will see is no tip, but you can add this, whatever tip suggested numbers you would like here. And then you can add email campaigns to an invoice. There will be information in the Help Center about that. You do have to add a certain type of email to do that. And then here we have our theme. So we can select from your themes that you've created in your account, and you can preview it on your invoice in real time. So actually, I want to do my ShootProof Studio one. This is the theme that's already, set as the theme in my account. But if, again, I want to make any changes here, change the font or the primary color, you can do that as well. So now that we've gone through, we're going to create our invoice. So now our invoice is ready to go. We can still edit it and add a payment. If we want to link it to the contract that we also just made, we can go down here to link contract. We can see that this is the contract that I made before, and I can link them. And then I can click send documents to send both of them at the same time. So they would get an email with their contract and with their invoice that they can click into both of them. Again, we'll do the client view. Oh, let me share my window. And then this is what your client would see. So here's their invoice with all of the information. They can see the payment schedule down here, your studio information. When they come back up here and click pay invoice, they'll see the tipping option. So you'll see what I mentioned earlier, where it can be no tip or 15%, 20%, whatever. They also have the opportunity to type in whatever tip that they would like. All right. That was a lot. Let me go through and see what's happening in the chat. Okay. Choose your own link color. Yeah, I will definitely pass that along. I can totally see that. Sometimes with the lighter colors and, the font isn't always as thick, it's very hard to see, but I can definitely see that a darker color would be helpful, or just the ability to pick your own color. All right, let me go into the Q&A. I'm sorry, Nicole, I did mean to mention that mobile apps don't expire, but I see that Andrew got you. All right. I know I'm moving fast, but you guys are keeping up, so thank you. All right. Next, we're going to talk about email campaigns. Email campaigns are a great way to increase gallery sales. So we ran some numbers a while ago, and we found that galleries with email campaigns attached get almost 3 times as many orders as those that do not have email campaigns attached. This is just a good way to keep contact with your client throughout the life cycle of your gallery kind of passively, so that you don't have to sit there and be like, oh, I should email everybody. Oh, I need to tell them about the expiration. Oh, I should remind them of a sale. When you set up an email campaign, it's going to do that for you. We do have pre-made ShootProof email campaigns that have to do with different genres. Those will just make a series of emails for you. But as always, you can edit those. You can make any changes to those. You can add, subtract, whatever you would like. You also can make your email campaigns from scratch. So we have 2 types of email campaigns. One of them is called a trigger-based campaign. And what that is that those are going to be based around dates that you have set in your gallery. So if you have an expiration date, or if you add, an order due by date, you can then base your email campaign around those dates. We also have date-based campaigns. Those are a really great way to run a sale at a specific time. So let's say Valentine's Day is coming up and you want to run a sale around Valentine's Day. You can set email campaigns that will set out on, February 3rd and February 7th on that specific date, despite when the gallery is going to expire or when you uploaded the gallery or any of that. So here we just have a quick example of a gallery lifecycle and how you might want to send email campaigns based around that. So first and foremost, we always need to start by actually sending the gallery to our clients because we need visitors in the gallery to send them emails. So we're going to send them the gallery link. Then 14 days before it expires, so likely about a week, maybe less, after you send that gallery link, we're going to send an email announcing to all of the visitors that you're having a sale with free shipping. Then maybe 7 days before it expires, you're going to send another email just to visitors who have not placed an order, reminding them that they have free shipping and that their gallery is going to expire in 7 days. And then maybe the day before the gallery expires, we send an email to everyone just saying, hey, your gallery expires tomorrow. Make sure to make your purchases, your downloads, etc. So back into our account we go. Again, we're hanging out in the studio tab today, so we're going to go down to email. Also, this is where you can see all of your emails and their latest activity. So we have several emails that bounced. That's because these are not real emails that we use for examples when we are sending things out. But maybe further down, we can see that somebody opened an email or that someone clicked a link and so on. So if you're ever wondering about the status of your emails, you can always go over to your email tab and click into activity. These are our email templates. Again, you can create templates, but you want to pay attention to that there are different types of templates for different places in your account. We have a really good article in the Help Center that shows what each template does and where it is corresponded to. But we are going to talk about our email campaigns. So there will probably be a bunch in here, but we will make a new one just to see it. So when we make a new email campaign, we're going to have a few options. These are the ShootProof campaigns that I talked to you about, where it would come with the pre-written emails. These are our trigger-based campaigns, and these are our date-based. We're going to start with a trigger-based. We're going to name it Beyond. We'll just do, these are all existing email templates. We're not going to make an email template right now, so we'll go ahead and do just this mini session one. This trigger date is what it's going to be based off of. So when you upload your gallery, it's going to set the shoot date as the day that you upload it. So maybe you want to use the shoot date, days after the shoot date, and you want to do 3 days after the shoot date. And then every visitor to that gallery would get an email 3 days after that shoot date. You can also choose the recipients. So you can have it with all visitors. The rest of these are kind of based on what visitors have done in the gallery itself. So if somebody has favorited, you can send emails to them. If they have items in their cart, if they have placed an order, if they have not placed an order, and then you do have the ability to send email campaigns just to the linked contact. So we're going to do all visitors though. If you click this copy studio on all sent emails, you will get a copy of every email sent. So just be careful if you're sending it to galleries that have lots of visitors. So we'll click create campaign. And here it is. You have the option to add new emails. You can review the emails. So if you click that, it's going to take you to all the email templates that you're using in case you want to look over them and make changes. And then you can assign it to a gallery here. Over here is your send time. I do just always like to warn that your send time does not mean that all of these emails are going to get sent at 12 p.m. on the dot. It is going to cycle through. It's really going to send those emails out in the 12 o'clock hour. So it just depends on how many emails it needs to send out. All right, taking another break. How accurate are the email statuses? For example, I've seen several flagged as open, but then heard, oh, it disappeared right under my eyes. I guess Andrew answered it. Thank you, Andrew. So he had got you a very thorough answer. So I'm going to go to the next one. They might get sent to the promotions tab in Gmail. That is a very difficult question to ask because a lot of that stuff is really determined on, it's determined on the email and their filtering side. So we see lots of times they're ending up in lots of different places, which is why we always recommend that if clients are saying they aren't getting emails, to make sure that they're checking their spam and also to make sure that they're checking their filters to allow emails from ShootProof. And if you're ever having issues with that, as Andrew said, make sure to reach out to our support team. They are support@shootproof.com. Oh, Wendy, I'm glad you're excited. All right, we're close to the end. So again, everyone, thank you for bearing with me. So our next one is booking. We did recently add our booking feature a few months. It's been a year, but that still feels pretty recent. It is an add-on feature, so it would be its own subscription. If you are interested in trying it, it is a 30-day trial though, and you can start that by going to Studio and then booking. It is $4.99 a month for monthly plans and $49.99 a year. So we have lots of fun features within booking. So we have a way for you to set up mini sessions. You can create different session types. So if you do lots of different genres or you just do lots of different types of sessions within your genre, you can set those all up individually with different settings, different prices, different availability, all of that. You have block off time. So, if you're going on vacation and you know that you're not going to be able to do any shoots during that week, you can block it off so that none of those sessions will show on your calendar. You can also block off small portions of time. So if you just need the afternoon off, you can set up a landing page on your ShootProof portfolio website, highlighting these sessions. So when you set them up, you can make them available to show on that page or not. So back again into our account, and we're going to go down here to booking. Booking has a lot of settings, so I will say that this one's probably going to be a very high-level overview. But again, we do have an entire webinar on booking, and we have lots of articles about setting it up. So here you'll see we do have some session types set up. These public session types are going to be the ones that show on your ShootProof portfolio website. So if you have anything listed as public, that page will show on your portfolio website. Clients can go, click on it, and they can set up a booking. So we'll go ahead and look at one of them that is already set up though. We have these banner images that will show across when they are viewing the booking. This is just a nice way to give them a little preview of the kind of shoot it is. Description, link, you can set the location, and as always, you can set your theme, these same themes that you set up in your account. With your availability is going to be where you set the time. These are mini sessions, so they're very short. You can add weekly availability. So if you always on, Friday afternoons are doing a certain type of shoot, you can add that there. This one though is a mini session. So we have a block of mini sessions that we added. You can add dates for those. So let's say that on the 31st, you would add a start time, the number of sessions that you have available. Didn't mean to leave that 0 there. And then if you do need a gap between sessions or a little break, you can build that in there. You can also take it out if you just really want to go from session to session. But we'll be nice and we'll give ourselves 5 minutes. So once you click done, you'll see it makes you a whole bank of mini sessions that people can select from. With the rules, this allows you to set how far into the future people can book. So maybe you only want people to be able to book this 2 months out. Maybe with your weddings, you want people to be able to book, 3 years out. So you can set that there. You can set a minimum notice. you can go ahead and add a contract to the booking that they will need to sign at the time of the booking. If you do that, you have to have it as a manual confirmation because you would need to go and sign that contract. If you don't do that, though, you can set up automatic confirmation, which means that as soon as your client signs up for a booking session, it's just okayed. So that's up to you whether you want to have to confirm it or not confirm it. And then you can also set it to create a gallery when you book, when the booking goes through, and then you can set a preset to go with that. For our payments, for all of your bookings, it's automatically going to make an invoice. Even if it is a $0 one, it'll make a $0 invoice. But you can set the price. Then you can set the payment schedule. So if you want them to have to pay at the time of booking, if you want them to not have to pay until the time of the session, or if you want a partial percentage set. They always have the opportunity, just like with their real invoices, to go ahead and pay the whole thing up front, even if you don't say that it's due until the certain date or it has installments or so on. And then you can set your tax options down there. And then our friends' emails. We do have all sorts of email templates specific to booking. So you can set those up for confirmation emails. If something gets canceled, you can set up reminder emails, follow-up emails, and so on. So then once sessions are booked, you have this sessions tab where you can see upcoming, pending, previous, canceled, and then you can also set your block off times. So I do want to preview, though, what your session type is actually going to look like. There we go. So here's this session type that we just went through all the session or the settings on. You can see here the photos that we showed or that we added as kind of examples. Here's all of the information, and then your client can go through the calendar and see those available dates. Right now, we only have the one available date because that's all I added, but you can see here that it shows with that blue circle. All right. Let's review everything that we just went over. So we talked about creating mobile apps to both delight your clients and market your business, utilizing contracts for every single session, no matter what, to set expectations, using invoices to get paid on time, creating email campaigns to keep your clients engaged with their galleries and also make sure they know when they're expiring, and setting up booking to make it easy for your clients to book a session with you. This is our resource library. It is available in the handouts tab. So just all the ways that you can get information about ShootProof. So our help center, our blog, we do have a community group on Facebook, our amazing support team who is available Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Eastern time via email and phone. We also offer concierge onboarding. So for those of you who are just getting started, this is a great way to get set up in your account. You can book a session. And then we do webinars. This year, we will be doing webinars every other week. So we do webinars like these that are about our features. We do webinars about the business of photography. So, you know, all sorts of fun topics like the cost of doing business. And then we also do photographer spotlights where we talk to our ShootProof photographers about their workflows. So remember to download that. And obviously, I'm going to open up the floor to Q&A, but remember to register for upcoming webinars and watch them on demand at shootproof.com. And also, there is a survey after this webinar, and I'd love to hear your feedback. Okay, let me scroll back a little. You do in-person sales, so I use ShootProof for contracts, but I was hoping to find other things I could use it for. It offers more now than it did years ago when I joined. We are looking into several of those things that you mentioned, Heidi. So you will hear from us when we start rolling those out. Editable mobile apps. That's one I will also pass along. Okay, I'm not sure. Let me go to the Q&A. Holly, you would still want to add an overall availability that people can choose Thursdays and then choose what type of session. You could do that if all of your sessions had kind of the exact same, were the same price, same time, same all of that. If they aren't, I would recommend sending them up as individual session types, so that you can specify out price and time length and all of that. Also, setting them up as individual session types would just maybe make it a little easier for you, because you could see, hey, such and such booked a, maternity session, and this one came in as a family session and all of that. Can invoices be sent with different studio names? Felix, do you have different brands within your account? Because you are able to have different brands within your account, which you could then have different studio information under, and then you could send invoices that way. Robin, we do not have a way to do email campaigns based off of booking yet, but that would be an interesting one to do. Okay, back to the chat. Adding more images under my portfolio categories. So to get images or to get galleries in your portfolio categories, you would need to do that in the advanced tab of your gallery settings. If you're doing that and you're not seeing that, you're gonna need to reach out to our support team, because unfortunately they need to look at your account and make sure that the settings are all set up correctly. So that's support@shootproof.com. Oh, yay, Pam. I'm glad you like the booking app. Okay. Okay. Let me make sure. I'm combing through. Wendy, this is a lot. It's a big one. Like I said, I try to do an overview, but sometimes I just, I just want to talk about all the features so much. So remember that in that handout, there will be individual webinars on each of these, so you can get more of an in-depth on those if you'd like. Thank you, Robin, for coming. All right, I'm going to stay here for just a few more minutes in case anybody has any other questions. But if not, thank you all for coming today, and we hope to see you at a future webinar. You can always see our upcoming webinars at our events page, which is shootproof.com/events. Also, within your app, we always post them on your dashboard, and then you'll see little pop-up messages for them when we set them up. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Paulina. Thank you, Nick. Everybody have a nice day. Greg, I'm going to have you email our support team and maybe give a little bit more information about what you're asking. I'm not sure of that off the top of my head. I'm sorry. We don't sell information, but just if you could email them with a little more detail about what it is that you're asking about. All right. I am going to go ahead and end it. Stan, I think the pop-ups at the bottom of what are the little icons at the bottom of the screen? Of the webinar screen, those are like little reactions so that you can send emojis. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great Thursday.